This week's patch came out earlier today, and with it arrived a couple of things that you're going to want to pay attention to. So let's just jump in. The first thing that you're going to want to look at is side stories, because the maze side story actually just came out. So if you go over here, jump in here, this came with two farmable units, which are a stack and Tarask. Now you don't really need to care about a stack apart from the 5 stack mains that exist in the world, but for Tarask, it's a great unit that's using a lot of content from start to end game. So if you don't have Tarask or don't know what Tarask does, Tarask is a free cost mech ranger that has 3 valid hits on its basic attack. So it hits multiple enemies, it has high attack as well, it's a very powerful unit. It also has a barrier, just like a Freet does, which covers 70% of its match XP. You can do 100%, which is what I done, because I only use Task in PvE, not PvP, so I don't really care about waking that you bin, because nobody uses them anyway, so why bother? The main importance of Task, though, is the defense cut, which is on the passive. This means that there's a permanent 100% uptime on her defense cut, which just means that you're going to cut through enemies much quicker. It's on par with Jifuyu's percentage as well. She also does 20% defense cut on her passive attacks. So you can see how adding this up together makes for a powerful unit. The task is used in pretty much all content, from danger close to raids to guild co-ops, and even other stages like Armor Relic. I'm pretty sure I use task for Armor Relic anyway. Yes. So my Armor Relic team has Task, very important unit here, does a lot of damage, sorts her out. So the other main thing is something that wasn't mentioned in the patch notes for whatever reason, and that is the Gauntlet shop. So we actually got a refresh on some of the maze gear here. For some reason they didn't include mech or soldier, but we did get a full set of counter gear refreshed. So for you, we just have the one set, maze case, maze hands, crowns, but we have another set. So I've already picked up the hands and case earlier today. I don't have enough to afford the crowns, unfortunately, but make sure you do that, check your shop, and get that, because you're going to need that for the content later on. I don't think I got good rolls on mine. I'm pretty sure they were worthless to me. Let's see. Yep, defense and attack speed kind of pointless. Defense isn't bad, I suppose, but I'll probably bin them later on. The other stuff is really just to check your events and time limited stuff. So a bunch of these events end in 4 days' time, so you want to get them out of the way. Awaken Shinjia event, if you have her, get all her challenges done, all these stages, just to get her quartz, get her mini unit. The Orca one, this is something you should have probably already done by now. It's quite passive, like this is stuff that you'd be doing naturally anyway. Sims, dismiss the employees, raids, Eternium. The Grimre's Bar one as well, you should have hopefully done all these as well. It's really just doing normal and hard stages and then taking your currency and putting it in the shop. So I've cleared most of the shops so far. The only thing left really is probably the Prime Data. I wouldn't really pick up anything else here except the trophy if you want that. It's completely up to you, personal preference. But just make sure you get this out of the way because there is only 4 days left for the exchange as well. The other thing, obviously, Orca's check-in event. You want to make sure that you've done all these bingo rewards. So make sure you pick out your bins, pick out your fusion cores, get all these out of the way. You've probably done the analysis missions, so just make sure you've used all of your tokens and then also cash these in at the shop as well. Even though you don't really get much for it, it's just credits, you know, it's still free currency. So make sure you get out of the way and don't lose out on any of the rewards. Gremory's Bar also is the main one. This is the cocktail one where you just create cocktails for her, give them to her, and get your VIP tickets. Now, on the last day of this, we'll get the last special VIP ticket, which will mean another mini Gremory reward and set binaries as well. Just make sure that you're doing your daily quests where you can. Do the quartz one if you can, but I wouldn't spend quartz if you're not already doing other stuff. I was already buying sim tickets and Eternium at the time, so my quartz mission got done itself anyway. But you don't need to rush this, just do your daily stuff, and then when it comes to the last day of the event, that's when you should dump your Eternium if you haven't done it yet. For example, you can see I'm only stage 19 out of 25. Still got quite a bit to go, but I'm just waiting, see what dailies I can get done. Then on the last day, I'm just going to dump Eternium into it. Because if you're like me, you'll have Eternium blanked up in your mail. You'll have Eternium blanked up in your counterpass as well, somewhere. And that'll just help you get the event out of the way because you want to get the 50 set binaries that you get at the end of that event. So the other thing really is counterpass. You can see that ends in 4 days' time, same amount as everything else. Make sure you're doing your daily missions, make sure your weeklies collect the bonus as well. Now the weekly does end a day before the pass expires, so we might be able to cash in another weekly if you do it quickly. And we may also get double XP for a day or two after that. I'm not sure if that's how it'll work, but we might be able to, and hopefully that'll help people who haven't got their pass finished like me to finish it on time. Now, I think that is really all I wanted to mention, except for make sure you're clearing the other stuff before the update comes out. The other stuff being what I mentioned in the previous video, which is your Shadow Palace, your dives, and your challenge tickets. So your dive reset coordinates, that is being deleted on the 8th of February, so you want to reset this and jump through all your dives where you can. And then the same with Shadow Palace, you want to use all your coordinate entries here because they're going to go away. So stack your palaces, don't stack them, whatever. Just make sure that you get rid of that and get your rewards because when they go away, you will not be compensated for any coordinates they remove. So get them out of the way. And the same with challenge tickets. Make sure that you've done all the challenge stages you can. If there are ones that you're missing, try and do them if you can. But otherwise, if you're stuck on any of these stages and the 8th of February comes around, just go to the challenge shop and cash in your medals for the rewards. Because if you don't, all you're going to do is lose your tickets and not get any medals compensated. That's pretty much it. It's a fairly quiet week in Counterside. It's really just getting stuff out of the way, preparing for the big update next week, tidying up events, event shops, your counter pass, stuff like that, and just making sure that you don't miss out on any of the good rewards.